Hey everyone, it's Nick Campbell. I believe it was a wise McElroy that once said that what we lack in adulthood is a yearly sense of renewal. I mean, we have New Year's, but no one's holding us accountable to those resolutions, or else we'd be a superculture of shredded, sexy human perfection who all speaks 13 languages and volunteers every weekend. Though I don't know where we'd volunteer because we're all perfect. But kids have school and a new set of classes and classmates to hold them accountable for being a new person or a better person, or at least hope to be a better person. The thing is that as a child that loved television more than some of his friends, I got to high school and college and found myself a little disappointed. It turns out that television gave me unrealistic expectations. Who knew? Television is sometimes a reflection of life, and sometimes, just sometimes, they over-exaggerate just a little to create drama. For instance, there used to be nothing scarier to me than the idea of a science fair. They always created so much stress in a sitcom household. You know, the kids were stressed because they had to think of an idea and then present it to a competition of their peers, or their parents were stressed because they felt obligated to walk their book-dumb kid through a codified process of entering a trifold poster board into a competition and not embarrass yourself. I nimbly avoided all invitations to contribute anything to science until the 9th grade when the science fair was compulsory. What could I do? Should I make a papier-mâché volcano? How do you make a papier-mâché volcano? What in God's earth is papier-mâché? I would never match the genius of Steve Urkel or Mingus or any other TGIF boy wonder. And TV leaves no middle ground for students at the science fair. You either get a ribbon or you embarrass yourself and your family for generations. So I slapped together something about computer programming and I didn't get an F. I survived. You guys, I survived. But survival through the science fair wasn't enough to alleviate my fears rising from the next crime perpetuated by TV tropes. High school is a nightmarish hellscape for nerds. It's all fun and games to watch Screech get dumped into a trash can, or Urkel get shoved into a locker, or Corey Matthews to get that pee-pants look when a bully holds him by the neck, until you realize, oh right, that's me. Audiences think that locker stuffing is a laugh riot, but I met all the criteria for someone that was ripe for the stuffing. I was underweight, I was into weird music, and I was overzealous with correcting the world on facts that I knew. Lunch money thieves seemed to be in my future. I escaped high school without suffering too much at the hands of bullies, but I also don't think that television prepared us for how terroristic bullying is, or how pervasive it could become. The internet, man. Sure, going headfirst into a toilet is no way to live, but the comically erudite and the easily shaken bully are nothing compared to the evils committed by actual teenagers. Being shoved into a locker would be downright quaint by comparison. The things that kids do to each other has no place in a sitcom, other than maybe in a very special episode, but more likely in a horror movie. And if the fear of the bully wasn't enough, there's also the fear of teenage girls. As an awkward teen that wore clothes that were too big for him, I was really counting on Jordan Catalano's locker lean to attract the smitten gaze of any girl that walked past. Just lean against the wall, one foot on the ground, one on the locker, bite that thumbnail. Turns out it didn't work too well. Television truncates the courting process between people for the sake of time. The instantaneous romance that I was so used to was a fallacy, so a cheerleader walking down the hallway wouldn't just fall into my arms because I batted these baby blues. They have their own sense of purpose and autonomy and personhood? What the? Not that I felt like I would even be able to keep up if given an opportunity to engage in normal teenage life. 90210 led me to believe that teenagers were masters of seduction and deception and running away from explosions. I didn't think I had much of that in me. Still don't think I have much of that in me. Once I traversed high school and came to terms with the fact that television was pretty wrong about the whole thing, I had a crippling fear of college. Classes in other buildings, rooming with strangers. It sounded like a lot of me talking to people I didn't know, and that felt completely overrated. Before my first year, I watched Felicity, and this stranger in a strange land was able to embed herself quickly into a network of quirky friends and basically flourish. Traveling from class to class didn't seem so bad, though midterms and finals did create in me an anxiety that was only equal to a science fair.
Finals is the most intense period for college students.
Do you want me to fail my finals?
And I'm in the midst of finals, which threaten my very existence.
I don't want to get pregnant, I just want to pass my finals.
They seemed really, really important. When I got to college, though, I didn't make very many friends, and I ended up spending a lot of time in my dorm room eating honey roasted peanuts and playing Final Fantasy VI. Again. The weird thing is that though Felicity represents a wholly unrealistic vision of what college life is like, I didn't take from it what I should have, which is that if I put myself out there more, I could have made more friends. And that goes with all the terrible lessons I've learned from television over the years. Had I seen it just a little bit differently, I would have seen a different version of the truth. Even the geniuses slip up in the science fair sometimes, so don't sweat it. You can survive bullies. And if you don't think that you can, there's always someone around to help. Unless you live in Rosewood. Jordan Catalano had to resort to that aloof move in the lockers because he was kind of dumb. As it turns out, television isn't real life. And you end up having to live your own truth. Thanks for watching. There's one thing I definitely learned from television that is absolutely correct. No matter your level of intelligence or how much you know about film, don't be Dawson Leary. The world doesn't have time for that five head full of arrogant buffoonery.